Welcome to my channel. My name is Daisy and I'm a knitwear designer. I'm coming to you from Haarlem, the Netherlands, and this is a podcast in which I'm sharing my inspirations, projects on my needles, and new designs. Please subscribe if you like it here and enjoy the episode. Hi everyone and welcome. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Haarlem. We had a storm on Monday and now it's quiet, the sun is back, and I'm really looking forward to talk to you today about knitting. I have a few things that I would like to show you and I hope you like them. So first and foremost is of course my Nivalis pullover. It's finished, it's ready, and I've been wearing it for a while. We started with the test already. There should be a million of beautiful reincarnations of this pattern coming up on Instagram and Ravelry soon. So I'm very looking forward to see those. And as far as I'm concerned, there are many testers who will try to do the floats. So I'm very happy. But as I mentioned last time, you can also do this yoke with regular stranded colorwork, and I'm sure it will look as beautiful as it is with the floats. So today I will talk a little bit more about this one, and I have another pullover design that is ready, and it will go into testing probably next week. And I have a matching design of Nivalis. It's like you can't get enough of it, and I thought it would be a nice addition to I don't know, spring collection sort of. So yeah, let's go ahead. I originally wrote Nivalis pullover for 9 sizes as I usually do, and I sent it off to my tech editor, and everything seemed to be going really nice. And then I started taking pictures, and taking pictures is the step that I really enjoy, and it also allows me to look at my design like from the outside, because when you are working on it, you are kind of too close. You don't see the bad things, the misfits, the little tiny things that you should be seeing, but well, you are too close and it's your baby, so of course. And then when you take pictures, when you turn from designer to a photographer and you look at the pictures, you see those minor details. You see how the garment moves, how the model moves, and how, well, what I found is I probably knitted my yoke too big for my size. So there are things that are, because the fabric with these floats is not as stretchy as you would expect the stranded colorwork fabric, there is still some room for imperfections. And this one is more like a woven fabric, so it will be as it is. So it won't, well, I don't know how to explain it really, but you see, there is a little bit of extra room here that it doesn't bother me that much, but yet I can see it. So in a perfect world, this won't be there. And I saw that if I removed one of the repeats, the problem disappears. You see? So what I did last minute before calling for testers, I actually created the pattern to 18 sizes. I removed this one extra pattern repeat, and now you can actually choose as close to the perfect fit as possible, you know. So I don't know if that's a good practice. Probably not so much, because it might be at the same time very confusing when you have so many numbers in the pattern, and it probably makes it quite difficult to follow. But also thinking that it could be quite nice, especially when you're working with something that you would like to fit perfectly, and not to get those baggy little things here. So, well, in the end, if I removed it, the total ease wouldn't change that much. So yeah, and because you see, because the yoke is so deep, the pattern goes really down, and I didn't want to split it between the sleeves and then the body. It would be even more complicated to write it. So there's no way of actually redistributing the increases and have an extra increase here to have it like more roomy in the bust, because that was another option. I could have just added more space at the bottom of the yoke and had it like just more overall ease of the garment. Like it would be more of a, not as fitted as it is now, and more of a loose pullover. So I instead went for a more fitted version, and with the option for everyone to have it perfect. Well, it's a matter of taste as well, and I think if someone with a slightly bigger bust wore this one, it would be okay. So you just have to check your measurements and the finished garment measurements provided on the schematic, and choose the one that is closer to your measurement. Yeah, so that was a kind of a freaking situation that I wasn't sure about, but I felt like, okay, let's go ahead. It's kind of crazy, but what can you do? So you see, my perfectionism is not the best trait, I think, but yeah. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you about this one is a simple way of swatching. So you still need to do a proper swatch with the yarns you selected, with the color work, to see how that works for you, which size of needle you need. But to choose the yarn, if you have many scraps of different yarns and you would like to see how those will look in floats, I actually used tapestry needle and just a simple stockinette swatch on which I could make those float stitches. There is I will insert a video of how to do that, but it's very simple, and it gives you an idea how different yarns behave in floats. So you can also wash this one and see how that changes after blocking. And I think it's a great way to pick the right yarn for the floats, because if you do the float, that is probably the most important part of working this kind of color work. So yeah, I chose here a bit of a heavier yarn. Here it's more like Aran weight, and then I had finger and weight alpaca held together, and some chunky mohair. So there are different ways of, you see, in different yarns it will look different, and if you pick the right colors and the right textures, it could be like a really, really nice creative exercise. I don't know, like I think it's a very beautiful part of knitting something, of creating a garment. And we usually skip the steps and just want to dive in and cast on and do everything, but swatching is as important, and it can be as interesting and creative as knitting itself. So yeah, please do it. If you decide to knit this kind of color work, please do. speaking of that, if you are new to color work and you're not sure if you want to attempt the whole pullover with the float, I have a thing just for you. I went ahead and I made a tam. It is easy because you also work in the round, so you can practice this color work on a small little project, and yeah, it's quite easy. You have a similar chart, and what it gives you is a little tam. I have this one already written out, and it is almost ready to go into testing. So if you wanted to do the test but you haven't been selected for the pullover, or if you'd like to do a matching tam to your pullover, stay tuned, because yeah, I will be calling for testers really soon. This one will come in 4 sizes. I think I have the size 2, which it is not very deep, I must say. I must admit that it's not. It is okay for me because I don't have so much hair, but they're in bigger sizes, they get a little bit deeper, and it is easy to add some extra rows before you start the color work to have it more roomy if you have a lot of hair, or just like a more flowy, slouchy look. So mine is quite small, I'd say. But it is a really nice way to try the color work, and use some leftovers if you have. I think it should be really nice, and the inside, of course, looks really nice as well. I don't know, I really like insides as well. I could probably wear it inside out. Yay! Look. Yeah, so it is quite simple. There is a little bit of ribbing, and then only color work, and a tiny little pimple? Yeah? I don't know how it's called, like a tiny little I-cord thingy on top that you can make a little bit longer probably. So this is something that I also made just like in a few days. I was so excited with the whole color work thing, and it just happened. And the last thing that I wanted to show you today is a new design that wasn't supposed to happen because, well, long story short, I was working on my purpurea sweater, and as I told you before, I wasn't sure about it. So I reached out to John Urban Textiles asking for their worsted weight yarn to make a second sample, and like lighter, a little bit lighter, more flowy. As I told you in the previous episode, my concerns about the bulkiness of the whole Nutiden held double. So they were really kind and sent me the yarns and some mini skeins. And the moment I saw the yarn, I was sure I'm not gonna make a second sample. It was supposed to be something else, and I immediately cast on something new. So the yarn I chose was their Harvest Hues. It's a light Aran worsted yarn that is a mix of Falklands Merino and Devon's Farbus. Well, it's the sheep breeds that I don't know, but it's kind of very silky before blocking, and then after washing it becomes a little bit more rustic, and it changes a little bit. So working with it was really nice. Everything just flows off your needles, really smooth, and then after you block it, it kind of everything falls into its place, and if you do cables, it holds the texture really nicely. So the yarn was a really nice grass kind of color. It's called Russet. Can you see it? It's this one. Yeah, and I decided to call the design Grass Whispers. So this is also the swatch from this yarn. Yeah, and let me show you first. So there is. It has this beautiful turtleneck with cables and some slip stitches here in between, which makes the edge really, really beautiful. And then there is a transition into color work, and the color work is separated by little cables, and then there are some bits of ribbing. Well, it's a lot of textures, and I think it's a perfect mix of stockinette and cables and color work and a little bit of ribbing. I really, really enjoyed working on this one, and it was very expromptu. So, for instance, with this one, I charted a lot of charts, and I figured out the right way to do the increases and everything. So it took a lot of preparation before I actually cast on. With this one, I cast on, and then along the way, I figured out all the rest. And I sometimes do that, and I think it's a very important part of designer work. Being creative and being free to create whatever comes to you. It is also one of the reasons why I don't like that much working with publications, where you have to create a sketch and have a really clear idea of what you're gonna make. And it also gets me frustrated when you have a deadline and you have this pre-accepted sketches and everything. You have a design that you have to produce and deliver. If something along the way doesn't go as planned, or you don't like what is coming off your needles, that really frustrates me, and I don't like the feeling. And I think I'd prefer to do it independently and be free to make changes and be happy in the end with the product that I make, and not depend on external deadlines or opinions or I think you get what I mean, because having this creative job that's why I'm having it, to be free to do what I like. Not it is nice to be published, and I think it is even in the terms of money, it's not so much about earning money from the publication. It is more about your ego and seeing your name in the journal or in the book. And I think I don't have that kind of ego. I don't need to see my name there. What makes me happy is seeing people needing my designs. If it's 5 people, 10 or 500 people, it doesn't matter that much. I would love to be 500 every time I produce a design, and I'm going there. I'm hoping for it, but it doesn't have to be through the pain and anxiety and everything. I think I think I would like to stay as much as independent as possible, and create a more sustainable way of running this kind of business. Because you see what is the current industry and how the whole thing is unfair to designers, and well, I got carried away. This one will of course come in 9 sizes. It is already tech edited, and it's almost ready to go into testing. It is a worsted weight design, and it comes with a million of different adjustments that you can do. So first, if you don't like a turtleneck, you can do a shorter neck, like a standing mock neck, like this, just only like 5 centimeters. So you will do just the top of the chart for the neck. It will be shorter, or you can skip the whole neck altogether and do just a few rounds of simple ribbing and have like a classic crew neck with then this band here, double knitted band, as a transition into the yoke pattern. And then there is another little trick. There are 2 charts for color work. You see there are these cables between the color work, and on my sample I have cable twists in every round, but on the turtleneck cables are twisted in every other round, so they are a little bit different from the ones on the neck and from the ones on the ham. Sorry, you probably don't see anything here, it's too dark, but yeah, if I open this it's gonna be too light. So on the ham, the cables are also twisted in every other round. So I have 2 charts for one option and the other. So the one will be like my sample, and the other one will be a little bit different and maybe even better. So in the test we will see how that works and which one is best. Or maybe I think I will keep both charts for those who would like to be creative and try something new. Then there is length, of course. Mine is very cropped. I don't know why I did it this way. For some strange reason, I really wanted a cropped one, and so this one is really cropped, and I also provided directions for a longer, like 4 different lengths. You can choose the one that hits your sweet spot. And the sleeve is just classic sleeve with some simple ribbing on the cuffs, and the body is just straight boxy shape. And then we have of course we have some short rows integrated into this section of ribbing here, and so this is the back. You will never tell. I was taking pictures today in the morning, and somewhere in the middle I realized that I hang it like back side to the front. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so the back is as good as the front. It was actually really lucky that they sent me some mini skeins, because their mini skeins are 25 grams and it's about 50 meters of yarn. So this is the full mini skein, and this is what I have left. So I basically use like 20 grams, maybe like half of it, and I think according to my calculations for most of the sizes 1 mini skein will be enough for the color work. So it makes it a really nice economically investment to buy 1 extra mini skein if you want to add some color touches on the cuffs or somewhere. But yeah, that should be really nice. You don't have to buy a huge skein for this project. Yeah. I don't know if I was supposed to tell you something else. I don't remember. Well, I've been talking for quite a while now, and I have a very important interview tomorrow. It's a local Dutch magazine, something like Knitting Without Borders. And they sent me a list of questions, and I was like last 3 days I was thinking about what to tell them, and tomorrow is the interview, and it's funny. It makes you think about so many things and like analyze everything you do and why you do it. It's weird. So I'm in the whole mood of preparation, And yeah, a lot of things happening behind the scenes. I'm working on design that will be published in Leine, Isn't It, the book that will come this year. And then I have another design submitted into a journal that is accepted, and I have to make a sample. And this is the case when everything is not as you expect it to be, and it's a little bit frustrating. So yeah, there is a lot of things going on here, and I'm really happy that I have you to talk about it because it can be quite, I feel sometimes really lonely that there's no one that I could talk about it. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for those of you who are on Patreon supporting me. It does mean a lot. And I will talk to you next month. Bye.